want to take a second to talk to you about underdogs.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles, fly Eagles on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What is going on, you guys? Make sure y'all can hear me. What is going on? It's your boy Joe Castro, a.k.a. Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. I'm excited, man. We got some more football coming up this week, so I'm excited for that. Eagles, obviously, fell to the Cowboys. It is what it is. They're never going to get over that. They won their Super Bowl. But we're not going to talk about that. I just brought that up just because Sam came in here early talking that talk already. But what's going on, Nina? I see you in there as well. But no, look. The question that I've been asked a lot this past week, and I've been thinking about it for a couple of weeks. If you watch the show, I've been talking about it for a while now. Do the Philadelphia Eagles sit, bench, whatever you want to rest, whatever you want to call it, Jalen Hurts, even if he's healthy this week? You look at what Gardner Minshew was able to do against the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, the turnovers is not what you want to see. But outside of the turnovers, he proved that he can move this offense up and down the field. So I know that the Saints have some guys on defense, but I don't think that they're as good as, especially when you're looking at the numbers, they're nowhere as good as the Dallas Cowboys. And offensively, I'm not too afraid of the New Orleans Saints to go ahead and put us in a shootout like we were against the Dallas Cowboys. So, I don't want to say we bench him. I don't want to say, we don't need to play him or whatever. It's a tough decision. I've said before, if he's not 110%, it makes zero sense to put him out there. He's back at practice today. It could be a good sign for this week, but everything that I've read prior to this was that Jalen Hurts was most likely going to be a go come week 18. So we're here, we'll see what happens. I don't think that it makes sense to put him out there, if I'm being 100% honest. I think that we can play good enough football to go out there and win with Gardner Minshew, whether it be this game or even the Giants game. So I do have confidence in him. Obviously, if you lose this game with a Gardner Minshew, especially if he's struggling, then, you have that option to go to an even more rested Jalen Hurts in that finale game. That's not how you want to go into the playoffs. I'll say that much right now. I'm not trying to go into the playoffs backwards. I feel like losing a couple games, getting all these injuries. I said it on the Best of Enemies. It's you want to go into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum, a little bit of, umph behind you. All right, we're on a good little win streak, or at least we won a couple good games, whatever it may be. And I just don't know if the Eagles are going to be there, especially health-wise. Obviously, we saw that Lane Johnson is, opting out of surgery, at least for now, and he's going to wait till the offseason. He's going to play, but how much of Lane Johnson are we going to realistically have? It's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking. I'll be 100% honest, as an Eagles fan and as a guy that understands how football can, depend on one player. It really can. Let me back this up a little bit. It's that thing right up on me. I know y'all cool with me and stuff, but yeah, that's a little bit better. That thing was right up on me. We were getting up close and personal. But no, I would love to know what you guys think. Because like I said, I think that and this is the main factor in all of this, I think that we can win without Jalen Hurts this upcoming week. I felt like we had more than enough opportunities to beat the Dallas Cowboys without Jalen Hurts. So, and again, I don't think that you're getting the same threat when you go against the New Orleans Saints team. So I would love to know what you guys think. We'll see what happens. I already see some Cowboys fans in the chat. And we'll also talk about if we feel like the Eagles are in trouble, because that I don't have a long drawn out, conclusion on. I don't think we are, but like I said, you don't want to go into the playoffs beat up. You don't want to go into the playoffs missing some key players. Avonte Maddox is down. It's just Chauncey Gardner-Johnson should be back next week. If not, he should be good for the playoffs. But it's a lot of these guys have not seen an extended period of time because of injuries these past couple of weeks, and it gets a little bit worrisome. But I wouldn't say that we're in trouble. I think that that's a little bit far to go, but we'll see. I guess we'll definitely see. But I did say what up to Nina, Steve in the building. What's going on? T. Well in the building. What's going on? Steve says you do love talking about my Cowboys, though. I really don't. I really don't. It's just y'all always bring them up, man. That was the first comment, was talking about the Cowboys coming in here. But it is what it is. I believe Minshew can get it done. I do too. I think that Minshew, especially you look at this team, you look at what they're preaching at practice and how they're trying to handle the situation of, all the turnovers, between the fumbles and the interceptions and the interception fumble, whatever you want to call that. That was just a crazy one. But, it looks like they're focusing on that. They're trying to fix that issue. And if they can fix that issue, if we had 2 interceptions or if we had 2 turnovers in total, we still probably win that game against the Cowboys. There was multiple times that we had 10-point leads. We could have put the game away. And with a Jalen Hurts, I feel like we would have. So, look, if we're a fifth, right? We'd all be drunk. But there's a lot to look at in that game and say, it's okay, we can, bounce back from something like that. Big D, what's going on? He says play him half in both games. I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against that at all. And, because it gives you the opportunity that if you see yourself slipping away or just avoid slipping away in the, Chicago game, maybe build yourself a little lead with Jalen out there. But it still comes down, or not the New Orleans Saints game, excuse me. But it still comes down to this defense, man. This defense has to be improved from last week, even though I will say the offense put them in a lot of bad situations. So that's, last week it was just a team loss. Everybody talks about team wins. That was a straight up team loss. That was just bad in every type of scenario. Everything that could go wrong, I felt like went wrong in that game, and we still had a chance. So we're dressing both quarterbacks. Is that what they're saying? So that's what's up. He's your MVP, right? He is the MVP. And we saw what happened when we go against a good team without our MVP quarterback. We still fight. You know what I'm saying? We still fight, but there's a clear difference. There's a clear difference between what Gardner Minshew brings to this offense and what Jalen Hurts brings to this offense. And I feel like that loss only proved that point even more. But it is what it is. It's you don't win in losses, right? There's no victory in a loss. But there's some things that you can definitely look at and take away from it, but we'll see what happens. What's going on, Michael? Would I play Hurts? I don't know. I really don't know. I personally do think that Gardner Minshew can win this game, but do you want to put yourself in a weird situation where you're either benching Minshew at half because you're in a tight game and you feel more comfortable with a Hurts, or now you have to play, Hurts in the last game and it means the world because you want to get that number 1 seed? I would probably go with like playing him and err to the side of caution. Like if he feels any type of, tightness in that shoulder or any type of soreness in that shoulder, I'm probably not, actually letting him play. But I would go till game time, go to the warm up, see how he's feeling. If he's feeling good, I'd throw him out there for a half and see where we are at the half. I think that's the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? But I'd definitely err to the side of caution on it. Nina says, I get it to not play him if he's not 100, but if he's 100%, he should go out there till at least halftime. 5 weeks off is a lot of time with no games to play. That's very true. That is very true. And that's something that I think that me and James have been kind of going back and forth on this whole week is like and it's not a myth, but, the whole thought that, momentum matters. And when you get into the playoffs, if you haven't had some games played, that it's going to feel some type of way. I think that players are going to play either way, but that's just me. But it could definitely affect us. I would give them a series or 2 before the playoffs just to knock off any rust or injury insecurity. I get that. I don't feel like there's a right or wrong answer. I think it all depends on how he feels at the end of the day. If he's feeling really good and he's itching to get out there, then yeah, like I said, go throw him out there at half, see where you are at halftime. If you have a nice lead, then maybe you take him out. Maybe you keep him in. You just don't play him against the Giants. There's a lot of different things you can do. It didn't happen. What now? What didn't happen? Play him. I'm sorry. I need to keep the engine oiled if we can. I respect that, Smitty. And like I said, there's really no wrong answer because when you look at this team, yes, I do think that continuity, that, team momentum, whatever you really want to call it, it does matter to a certain extent. But I feel like this team is just in tune. We've gotten, in sync so quickly over this year. And I feel like that this team is just in tune. So I don't think that the time off would hurt them. I think it would just help some, especially our veterans. So maybe that's the path you go. Maybe you just kind of bench some of these, not bench, but rest some of these veterans in, the second half of the game. There's a lot of different ways you can go because the Eagles, they hold their own, cards. So as long as you win one, it doesn't really matter what you do with the rest, right? It really doesn't matter what you're doing with the rest of the season. So we'll see what happens. I start Minshew this week. When we win, start Hurts a half next week to knock off the rest. That's a possibility. I truly feel like if the game doesn't matter, they won't play him. I do believe that, but there's a lot of reasons why a game could matter, right? There's really a lot of it. They might see like, hey, if we beat this team right now, if we beat the Giants right now, either they don't make the playoffs. I think that's actually a scenario. They would have to win out for them to make the playoffs. So if we beat them, they don't make the playoffs. Situation A. And then B, maybe you knock down somebody a seed that you don't necessarily want to face. So there's always a reason why a game matters, but we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. No players are 100% at this time. The question is, can he perform at a high level that maximizes his strengths given his injuries? I agree with that at almost any other point of this season. I feel like right now it really the different, you have to look at it team wise when it comes to this right now. And I feel like I'd rather miss out on you for a week or two or a week and a half, whatever it may be, than lose you in the playoffs at any point. Because if we lose him in the playoffs at any point, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, especially if we go against a really good offense. I think that's what that showed. I don't think our defense is bad. I don't think our defense is trash. I think that our offense continuously put our defense in bad situations against a really good offense. And that offense went out there and attacked this, and they executed. So I think that's really big. Don't wait for Dallas to lose. It won't happen. The decision is yours. We got our card. Hey, you guys, Dallas is one of the funniest fan bases right now. You guys are acting like you guys literally won the division. You split with us. We both played our backups. It's just the thought process, because it's funny because we were talking about the week that we beat you. I was saying, we put up the highest amount of points on your vaunted defense. That made me proud of this offense, that we were able to put a game plan together to put up numbers on you guys, right? At the time, we put up more points in one half than any other team had put up on you at that point at any season. That's the truth, right? You guys put 40 on us, and it is, there's no context to it, right? But I'll give it to you. You put up 40 on the scoreboard. But at the end of the day, you guys are acting like if this is the calling to the Super Bowl. This is everything you guys, this was everything you guys were working towards. Come on, man. The hypocrisy between Dallas Cowboys fans from what they said when we played them with Cooper Rush to what they're saying now is just crazy to me, to be honest. But it is what it is, man. You guys do you. Whatever makes y'all feel good. I ain't gonna hate on you. What's going on, Legal Side Hustles? He says sitting out too many games messes up their groove, in my opinion. It could happen. And like I said, there's really no wrong answer. I guess you just got to know your team. You got to know your squad, right? And I'm not saying I know my team better than anybody in the chat. I'm just saying, that's on Nick Sirianni. Luckily, we don't get paid. Not luckily we don't get paid that. I would love to get paid what he gets paid, but luckily we don't have to make those decisions. Let me put it that way. T-Will says, I'm against getting Hurts further hurt before the playoffs. Our run game relies on him too much. I agree with that. And I feel like it's important to maybe find some wrinkles in this offense without Jalen Hurts to kind of figure out how to, because I said it even before the Dallas game that I thought Quez Watkins was going to get a lot of looks, because you go back to I believe the Jets game is the last one that he started. Quez got a good amount of looks in that one too, because he felt comfortable with him. So excuse me, I think I'm getting sick, y'all. I'm always sick. I don't know what's going on with me lately. But you look at how they have that chemistry. So maybe this is a chance for somebody like a Quez Watkins to kind of get on a nice little streak going into the playoffs, right? That he kind of gets his confidence going up into the playoffs, and he becomes even just another weapon for this offense. So I feel like there's a lot of things that you can take from this in a positive aspect. It's all about what you want to do, though. It's really all about what you want to do. But look, there's so many different things you can do. And that's the beauty of playing your schedule and winning the games you're supposed to win. I mean, I don't know if you guys were in the chat when I was doing the best of enemies with James and everything, but I said 14-3 and everybody was calling me crazy. So here we are, 1 game away from 14 wins. We might go 15-2. Who knows? Who knows? I'm gonna pull that back out. I'm gonna pull that back up. Samuel Rose says, Castro with great taste in basketball teams, horrible taste in football. Nets looking good, man. Nets won their 10th straight, I believe, right, last night. They looking good, man. They looking good. Nets looking good. I'm happy about that. I'm in my fantasy football championship tonight, so I need all good juju. I need all good vibes. I know this is a very random live stream, but I just set up like if you can see behind me, actually, you see the shout out to Darius Slay. Shout out to Darius Slay. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Darius Slay for that one. Shout out to Darius Slay with the signed autographed jersey. And then I got the Brian Dawkins. That bad boy big. I don't know where I'm going to even put it if I'm being 100% honest. But that bad boy beautiful. That bad boy beautiful. Shout out to Darius Slay and his wife, you know what I'm saying, for hooking it up, getting me that jersey. But what's going on, Ryan? What's going on? But yeah, the Nets looking good. The Nets looking good. I'm not going to talk too much about the Nets, but they looking good. I'm happy. Kevin Durant just got his old man strength. I don't know how KD does it, but he do. He does it all the time. Bill, what's going on? He says it's a really tough decision. I want to clinch home field, but winning the Lombardi Trophy is the ultimate goal. Bill, I agree 100%. It comes down to, again, knowing your team for this coaching staff. They got to understand whether or not it's a call that they should make, if it's something that makes sense for them. And then they got to also understand whether or not, they think he can win. If they think that Gardner Minshew can win, then none of this matters. That's my honest opinion. If they have faith that Gardner Minshew can win, then none of this matters. I didn't even realize the music wasn't on. I ain't even telling me to. Can y'all hear the music now? We wasn't even listening to no music, man. Come on, man. But yeah, no, I agree, Bill. It's tough. It's going to be one of those game time things. I doubt that they announce it. Maybe they do, but I doubt that they announce it tomorrow or, Friday or whatever, or Saturday or anything. It's probably going to be like a game time decision type thing, which is just going to, ruin everybody's fantasy playoffs because they don't care. No one's 100% who starts. What do you mean no one's 100%? Daffy Don Quixote. Hurts will play first half if they have a lead. That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's what I would probably do. Like I said, if he's feeling it, if he's like, I want to play, I want to go, put me in, coach, I'm ready to play. You know what I'm saying? As a reference for all that, I'm dating myself at this point. But if he's ready to go and he wants to play, go out there, play a half. We'll see where we are at halftime. And if we got to pull you, or if we can pull you, we will. If not, then you're playing a game. But that's probably the best. It's probably the smartest way to do it. Yeah, Ryan's saying the same thing. The big issue is right tackle. They may move my lot to the right tackle and put my... look, I probably have a different thought process than a lot of people on this one. And I think that me and you are kind of on the same wave here. It depends on what the type of injury is. So, like, we now know, right? We now know that Lane Johnson is going to come back. But it's still kind of, I'm still a little bit weary to say he's coming back, so don't worry about the long term. But if it's a long term, let's just pretend we still don't know what's going on with Lane Johnson, right? Because I kind of feel a little bit more close to that than I do Phil saying he's 100% good to go when, playoffs come, because there's going to be... Anyways, we'll talk about it. But my opinion, realistically, is if it's a long-term thing and you're having to go into the playoffs with these 5, I think it makes sense to move Mailata to the right tackle and start Dillard, because that puts your best 5 out there. I don't know. I like Jack Driscoll. I really do like Jack Driscoll. I think he's really good. But I don't know if I like him more than I like Andre Dillard at left tackle. So, and I think that Jordan Mailata, even, Nick Sirianni said it himself, he has that versatility that he can move. So I think that makes sense. If you feel as an organization that Lane Johnson is going to be 100%, it doesn't matter. The guys that start these next couple weeks will not be your guys in the playoffs, then I don't mind you just putting Jack Driscoll in there. I think that he can hold his own for the next couple weeks. So that's where I'm sitting. That's where I'm sitting. And I would love to know what you guys are thinking, to be honest. Oh, Daffy said the Cowgirls are overrated. Yeah, you get a mod for that. You get a mod for that. We got to fire Gannon. He made Dak Prescott look like Joe Montana. Jonathan Gannon has been making everybody look like Joe Montana. It's been very frustrating with Jonathan Gannon. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it's really annoying with him. It's like whenever he plays a good quarterback or a quarterback that's having a good season, he just like folds. I really don't know what's going on with him, but we'll see. We will definitely see. Luckily, and I really don't think that the NFC has many top offenses that you have to be worried about. Outside of the Dallas Cowboys, that's the worst offense. That's the not worst, but the best offense you're going to play. And they're probably going to get taken out the first. Yeah, they're probably going to get taken out in the wild card. Cowboys got a game tonight, and their fans are still talking about the Eagles. That tells me all I need to know about who the real big dogs are. Exactly. Eagles has landed. This is exactly what we wanted. Tiebreaker, all or nothing, grudge match. Right. I would love to see you guys in the playoffs. I just don't realistically think y'all gonna make it. And that's not make the playoffs, but I don't think y'all gonna make it to the round we would play in. So we'll see what happens, man. We will definitely see what happens. Hurts needs to play. I can't stand Minshew. Hey, I think Minshew played well. I really do think that Minshew played well. Obviously, he had the turnovers, and that's low-hanging fruit. But for a guy that didn't have much, time to get ready for this, he had 1 week to get ready to go against the best team in your division, arguably the second best, third best, maybe, four. I mean, depending on how you really I mean, the Cowboys are probably top 3, top 4 in our conference, right, in the NFC. So, I mean, it's a tough order, and he fought with him. I can't really be too upset. I get it that he didn't win, but I mean, I really can't blame him too much. One of those interceptions I would definitely put on Quez. I love Quez. I think he's a great player, but you got to fight a little bit for that ball. He just kind of gave it to DaRon Bland, and DaRon Bland, kudos to him, he took it. But, one of those, and then obviously he doesn't control Miles Sanders just kind of blanking out, and then Boston Scott, I think, just kind of blanked out as well. So, I mean, you can't, he put up points. And that's all he was supposed to do. He missed some reads, but that's why he's a backup. I really can't get too mad at him. I really can't. Smitty says we need to get home field because I don't care how, but I want my quarterback sitting for 30 days. You don't want your 30 days. Yeah, I feel you. I definitely get it. If Jalen can play and isn't 100%, I'm playing him. Really? So if he says, hey, I'm like 80%. If he's like, hey, yeah, I'm feeling like 80%. You would risk that? I wouldn't risk that. I really would not risk that. I would almost rather not get home field than not have Jalen Hurts throughout the playoffs. And I feel like you run that risk. It's a serious injury. So I don't want no excuses. I want him at full health. But hey, maybe that's where we get to. Facts, Joe Dillard plays more than Driscoll long term. That's our best 5 up front. That's how I feel. Yeah, that's how I feel. Eagles were 19 yards away from winning that game. Multiple times. We had multiple opportunities to go ahead and finish that game. We just didn't. I mean, there's no excuses. There's no reason to really overanalyze it. And I don't think it's one person's fault. I really don't. I think that it was a team loss. It was a team loss. The defense couldn't make big stops when it mattered, I guess. You can kind of put it on them. But this offense obviously didn't help him. It was a team loss. It really was. There's no other way of putting it. Daffy says, Joe, I agree with Jalen being healthy because we need his running ability. Our run game was unsuccessful with Minshew. we would have rushed for more against Cowboys with her. And you know what's crazy to me is that Minshew can run. He's obviously not Jalen Hurts. He's obviously, not Michael Vick. He's not, whatever. He's not Justin Fields. He's not one of those guys. But he can run. He can move. So there were a couple times that I'm looking and I'm like, bro, you got the whole side wide open. Why aren't you running it? Even if you get 4 or 5 yards, like just make them respect you as a runner. So I think that we do lose, obviously, the quarterback, designed runs, right? You're not going to ask him to drop under center, and just run the ball. But there was opportunities for him, and he's not slow. He's not, this guy that can't run. And I wouldn't even subscribe to that thought because he can run. We've seen it in Jacksonville. He definitely missed Watkins, but there's a lot of guys that have missed a lot of throws. I mean, Jalen Hurts has missed throws. We can't just judge him off one play. Minshew played a pretty good game of football. He had mistakes that cost us the game, and defense can probably say the same. But I can't put it all on him, and it doesn't really make me feel like he can't go out there and beat the Saints. If you're comparing the Saints to the Cowboys, we got some talking to do because that's a terrible comparison. That's a terrible comparison. We blew it with irresponsible. I agree 100%, Dank. I agree 100%. If Minshew plays against Saints like he did against Cowgirls, we will win. But the D can. Yeah, I agree 100%, Bill. If he plays it like he did if he plays half as good against that he did against the Cowboys and is able to establish a run game, like that's the thing. There's obvious fixes that he needs to make, right? The low-hanging fruit, like I said, is the turnovers. That's what everybody's going to talk about. But there were missed plays, not just the throws. There were missed plays in the run game where, like I said, times just get the 5 yards, get the 3 yards, get the 2 yards. Make them respect that any given time you can take the ball. And I just don't feel like he did that. I think that if you watch some game film, which I'm sure they're going to be sitting down with him if he is to be the starter, and even if he isn't to be the starter, they're going to sit down with him and say, you see this is where you should have took it. This is what you should have done here. And it's going to grow him. It's going to help him learn how to be even better in this offense. And that's what you got to ask for. This is a whole new offense for him, right? Last year, I mean, obviously it's the same play callers, all that good stuff, but these are new weapons that he has to deal with on a daily basis. And then you go back to last year, he wasn't playing with a stacked deck. So a lot of this is new to him. So I don't know. I know I'm sounding like Minshew's agent right now, but it's hard for me to really blame him. We used Quez wrong against the Cowgirls. But he does need to toughen up when going for the ball. I agree. No, at 80%, he can't play 95% or better. All right. I mean, that's splitting hairs, though, Smitty. That's splitting hairs. If 95 and 100, that's pretty darn close. So I get you there. I definitely get you. If Minshew, right there. Yang gang in the building. Gang. He runs into a defender's sack. The Eagles' yards per play on defense is really impressive. Most people that handicap or bet on the sport will tell you that's the most important stat that goes into evaluating how good a team is, for whoever is wondering. I'm assuming. I think that's what that stands for. Yeah, I mean, look, I said it. Dak Prescott tore us apart. He did. Dak Prescott went out there and beat us up. There's no denying that. He went out there and had probably his best game of the season, and kudos to him for that. But at the same token, we gave that offense that was on fire that night a lot of great opportunities, a lot of short fields. That's on our offense. So there was obvious mistakes that we can fix. I'm not 100% out on this defense. You're talking about a team that was averaging, I think, like 40 points over the past 2 games prior to playing us. So, I mean, look. I'm not making any excuses. There is not excuses, but you have to look at it, take it into context, and move on to the next game. So I feel confident with this team that we have going into this game. That's really where I'm at. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got 25 people on the YouTube side. If you guys are on Facebook, if you guys are on Twitch, if you guys are on Twitter, no, Twitter, you guys hate me. But come on over to the YouTube side, man. My link is in my bio description, wherever you are. Definitely hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. You see the chat. These people are crazy. I love it. And we're just talking, man. We are just talking, Right now, how many likes we got? How many likes? We got 25 people in here. We got 17 likes. Can we hit 20 likes? Can we hit 20 likes? Take a second, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. EC1, you always why you hate everybody? You hate everybody. If they don't play great, you hate everybody. You came in here talk about Jalen last year like this. So I mean, I get it. He didn't win the game, but at the end of the day, Howard Eskin says Hurts is playing per his report on 94 WIP. Really? Let me look this up. Hold on. Let me. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. No disrespect to Howard Eskin. I don't really follow him at that much. I'm not gonna lie because I do live in Tampa, so I don't really listen to the radio out there. But I haven't heard that. We'll see. So I'll keep my eye on that. I will keep my eye on that to see if anybody backs that up. I do see a lot of people saying we're gonna go one and done now. You know what I'm saying? People gonna jump off ship, and I like that. I'm cool with that. I am okay with that. All right, let me get back to the comments. Where we at? Dank says, I kind of cringed when he tried to run on that third down play to start the game. He has some wheels, bro. He's not like I said, he's not like the most athletic, most fast person in the world. But I've seen him play in Jacksonville. He was fun to watch. I don't care what anybody says. And I was excited when the Eagles got him. I was pounding the table. If you guys watch the channel, I was saying before we got him, I would give up a 6th-round pick. We gave up a conditional 7th. I loved it. I love Gardner Minshew as a backup. I think that he's a very high-end backup, and I think that he's a guy that might end up getting a starting job someday. Maybe not as like a franchise guy, but just to hold the franchise over. But that's a whole nother conversation. But he has the wheels to do it. I really do feel like that. So we'll see. Dolphy says, I also think Quez cost us 2 games, not putting all blame on him, but we had the fumble at Washington, he was responsible for. Hurts interception against Bears, and then out-muscled for 2 balls last week. I totally forgot about that. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad that you brought that up in the spirit of holding players accountable. That is not a good look. That is very true. Hopefully this whole Eagles claw thing works for this Eagles staff and they can figure something out, because that isn't good. That is really not good. I'm glad you brought that up. What people saying? Pascal, controversy. I'm not starting. I like Quez. I like Quez. The speed that he brings is something that you have to game plan for. And I feel like that alone gives you a spot on my field. Like Pascal, if AJ Brown ever goes down, I would definitely want Pascal to get his reps. If Devontae, look, Quez Watkins he's just a different animal. The speed that he brings to the table, we just got to figure out how to get him utilized. And that's why I said, look, if Jalen's playing, don't get me wrong, I'm ecstatic and I'm hyped to see him play. But that's why I'm saying it's not all bad if he's to be rested. If he's, if they take it cautious. I think that there's other players on this team that might benefit from him not necessarily being the starter, and that's not a knock to him. But like I said, Quez Watkins works with the second team quarterback far more than he does with Jalen Hurts at this point. So it might get those engines going. Pascal, same thing. It might get those engines revved up a little bit, and we might find somebody that, ends up being that secret weapon, that, extra added arsenal to your team. There's I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a little bit too optimistic. Usually I'm pessimistic. Y'all should take it, though. Y'all should take it. I see some people came over from the other channels. We got 30 people now in YouTube. Be sure to hit that like, man. Hit that like. Let's get to 25 likes. I would really, really appreciate that. We just chopping it up for a little while. I got to figure this camera out, though, because I feel like it's like, y'all right in my, I like y'all and everything, but that's a little bit too close. But you can see that's Slay jersey. That's Slay jersey. I'm telling you, that thing beautiful, bro. Every time I see it, I get happy. Quezzy the Great, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Pascal over Watkins. Should be talking about wide receiver guy. I'm not putting Pascal over Watkins. I'm good. Yeah, what you have in Pascal, I like Pascal, and he's good, man. He's made some good plays for us. But what you have in Pascal, you already have out there on the field. What you have in Quez Watkins, you don't. I'm cool on that, man. Steve says, shout out to the NFC East, though. Philly earned the top seed, and the rest of the division may end up in the playoffs. That's a fact. Yeah, we would have to help the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. Tell me if I'm wrong, anybody. But I'm pretty sure we would have to help the Giants at this point. And then the Washington Commanders, they might just be kicking themselves out of the playoffs because apparently they're going to start Carson Wentz, which I don't know why. What's the point? What's the point of starting Carson Wentz? What does that man done for you except give you a headache? I just don't get it. Chris now says Howard Eskin says Hurts is playing. I'm going to have to see that. No excuses in the Cowgirls game, but a no turnover game. Eagles 54, Saints 0. Oh, you definitely get a mile for that. You get a mile for that, Eric. You get a mile. Welcome to the family. I like that. We have wide receiver controversy. Is Quez Watkins better than Zach Pascal? You want controversy. I ain't giving it to you. Not today, bro. Not today, bro. It's Thursday. It's a beautiful day. All right. Tomorrow's Friday. It's the weekend right after that. We're going to enjoy this day, all right? We're not talking about no controversy. We're not talking about no haters. We're not talking about none of that. It's Thursday, all right? I don't usually do these late night shit. This ain't late night, I guess, but I don't usually do streams past my bedtime, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to be happy today. And EC, you're going to be happy today, all right? You're going to be happy today. Nah, but shout out to you. I did criticize him, bro. I did criticize him. I ain't going to cap. You said a no turnover game and we win 34-20. It's that simple. I can't give you a number, but I definitely think that we probably win that game if we don't turn it over. And it could have been a blowout. Multiple times it could have been a blowout, but we kept on giving them the ball back in great position, and that's what happens when you give a good offense the ball back. They make it count. So there's not much you can say. There's not much you can do. You just gotta play better. You just got to play better, 31-13 Philly over New Orleans. I'll take that. It was on his 1 hour spot, 6 to 7 p.m. today. I'm going to have to check it out. I'll check it out. It's the worst, man. Getting sick is the worst. Of course he's playing. Why is he getting full team reps on a Thursday? Was he getting full team reps? I just heard that he was back at practice. I didn't necessarily hear that he was at getting full team reps. Oh, that's dope. So there's like a little button right next to my face on the YouTube side that you could press, and it shows my merch. You know what I'm saying? No pressure. But if y'all want to check out the merch, my girl makes all the designs, and they dope. They are dope. Easily replaceable. He can't run good routes. He waits for the ball to come to him instead of going to the ball himself. I agree with the second part of that. I think that he runs very good routes, but I do agree with the second part. He does need to come back to the ball. Quez got to be more consistent. I agree. We can upgrade the slot, i.e. Quez. I don't think on the roster, I like Quez. I didn't say Quez was elite. I said that we don't have what he brings on the field. And we don't have that on the roster. We don't have a guy with that type of speed. And he makes some circus catches sometimes. But he does. He has to be more consistent. I agree. You said Miles about to have a bounce back game. If he plays, I'm hearing that he's a little banged up too. His knees hurt. I read if midgets win this week, they're in the playoffs. Is that right? I'm not sure. What's going on, Drew? I think that they have to win against us as well. I'm not sure, though. Last time that came close to happening was 92 Eagles, Dallas, Washington all made the playoffs and won one playoff game. I think that happened before, too. I think 94 that happened. No. Yeah, I think 94. I was talking to Kyle Yeomans about it. We were talking about like when the best the division was. You know what I'm saying? I said 2004 because I felt good about my team. You know what I'm saying? And he brought up a year that we didn't even make the playoffs. Miles said he was fine. All right, bet. Yeah, I've been running around. I haven't been able to really keep up. That's why I came on. That's why I come on here, because I know my family got me. Should we try McPherson at slot? I would not be against that. I think that Zach McPherson has played pretty well in the snaps that he's seen. So I would not be against that. Speaking of snaps that he's seen, let me rant real quick. And I hope that I don't know if I press record, I don't know how OBS works. If I press record, will it stop the stream? I don't know. But I gotta get something off my chest. All right. Shout out to Cowboys content creators. Shout out to all their reporters and everything. But some of the things y'all say is just I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So there was a guy on Twitter, and I'm gonna bring up his name. I'm not just gonna say he's some guy. All right, because we had a conversation. He ended up following me, so I'm not gonna, sit here and drag him as much as I want to. Let me just pull up his name, so I'm not just calling him some guy on Twitter, because that's disrespectful, and we don't do that here. We don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? Let me get his name. I'm gonna get his name. So Dan Rogers, shout out to Dan Rogers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Dan Rogers. He basically brought up and wanted to compare the 5th round pick of the Cowboys, who was the one that got the interception off of Quez Watkins, right? He compared him to Nakobe Dean. Basically pulled up his stats, said that Nakobe Dean played 15 games, had, such and such amount of tackles, this, that, and the third. Then showed off Damone's Clarks or whatever and was like, who's the real steal? Who's the real, player in the draft? Lottie-dottie, he likes to party. I just love the lack of context, that the lack of context that Cowboys reporters and creators, that he even said in his own words that context didn't matter in this situation. The context of you're talking about a Nakobe Dean stats that played 32 defensive snaps versus a Damone Clark who has played 301 snaps, I believe, was the number on defense. I don't get how, I get it. People say things to make themselves feel better. But we all have a computer now. We all have the internet. You can look up these things that they're saying and see that, well, why didn't you add the context of the snaps? Why didn't you talk a little? Why are you even talking about the Philadelphia Eagles rookie that isn't playing? How hurt are the Dallas Cowboys, and how hurt are the Dallas Cowboys fan base? That's the question I need answered, and I need to answer pretty soon, because it seems pretty damn hurt. They seem pretty damn hurt, if I'm being 100% honest. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. I really do not get it. What's going on, Daniel? I just had to get that out my chest. I had to get that off my chest, because I just don't understand the lack of context. I really don't. And then you got Vach over here talking about, oh, we smoked them. We smoked them. No context. No context. They want to talk about their quarterback as if he's a cartoon character, but no context in that game. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's a boring tactic. I'll go that far. I'll say that much. It's a boring tactic. I find no pleasure. I don't find joy in just sitting here and talking about my players. Look, we have the whole Batman thing, right? We have that whole thing. I'm not just sitting here willy-nilly being, oh, we just smoked them by 6 points. But we smoked them. It was a wrap. We just walked up and down the field. There was nothing. Like, come on, bro. People do things for entertainment, and I get that. But just, mark it as entertainment. Because if you're going to keep telling these people y'all sports reporters and stuff and not use context, I'm going to keep on saying something. And y'all ain't got to say nothing back. It's okay. I just got to get my thing off my chest. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to just sit here and let y'all say crazy stuff with no context. He could say that Dean isn't getting playtime, which would make sense. Exactly. And that's the whole thing. If he would have been like, listen, our, guy has put up these stats and, obviously their guy hasn't even been able to really get on the field as a linebacker, we could have that conversation. But when you just blindly throw up stats to make it look like he's just inept, like he's played 15 games and could only muster 32 tackles, like that's not what it was. That's not what happened. You know what I'm saying? So I just get frustrated when people do dumb stuff like that. Shout out to Vach though. Vach is usually pretty good, but yeah, that pissed me off. I ain't gonna cap. Purdy will be exposed, no worries. I'm not too worried about them. I mean, we'll see what happens. Philly Fresco, I'm in Kissimmee area. There's a Eagles bar close up here. Oh, where? Kissimmee's not too far from me, I don't think. Kissimmee's not too far from me. Which one y'all got that? I know that in Orlando, I think Wing Shack is the spot. I'm in Tampa. In Tampa, there's a place called Tampa Joe's. There's a place called Ferg's that they got a bunch of Eagles groups that go down there. There's a bunch of different spots. I like to be at home by myself because I get, a little bit too hype and I get upset. So I like to be home. But I'm probably going to end this pretty soon because I am sick. I'm not feeling good. But I wanted to come on here and talk. This probably will not be my last, live stream of the year. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. We finally got like a new desk. We got some cool stuff going right now. So I'm excited to really unveil everything as we get everything set up. I do want to say to everybody that's watching, if you could do me a huge favor and just check out my job, man. If you guys do not know, I do work for Fanfield. We are a NFT company, a sports digital collectibles company that is co-founded by Michael Vick. So I do work with Michael Vick. I have an interview now up with him on our YouTube channel. Just type in Fanfield or type in Michael Vick and Joe Castro. It's on the community post as well. But I just really would hope that you guys can all check out what Fanfield is offering at Fanfield Sports on Twitter. www.fanfield.io is the website. So definitely go check it out, see what they got going. We are going to launch our first product with Michael Vick on the 3rd. So I hope that you guys all check it out. I hope that you guys enjoy what we have. And if it's something you guys like, holla at me. We literally interview a bunch of athletes. I give you one-on-one experiences with these athletes. You can ask them whatever you want. It's a great time and it's a blessing. So I appreciate everybody that supported me up until now, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. And I would love for you guys to support me over there as well. But other than that, man, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm excited for this game. I don't care if Gardner Minshew's playing. I don't care if Jalen Hurts is playing. I don't care if I'm playing. I don't care if I get a call and, you know what I'm saying, that Nina, you coming with me. If we play, me, my girl, Nina, and Nina's moms, we all heading down to Philly and we playing. I don't care. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If they need, whoever they need, I got you, Philly. We going to win. I am hyped for this game. I'm hyped to finally, be that number 1 seed since 2017. It feels like a decade that that we haven't, been this great, and it's just great to finally be back here. I feel far more confident in this team, and I'm going to say it. I feel far more confident in this team, and I will be far more disappointed in this team losing than I would have or than I did in that 2017 team. I just feel like this is a real solid unit. We're going into this probably the healthiest we've ever been, at least in my life. I feel like in my life there's always at least 1 or 2 major injuries. I think that everything is finally kind of coming together. It's time for the Eagles to finally fly again. We're going to go out to Arizona and we're going to whoop whoever it is. All right, let me make sure whoever it is, I'm talking to you. All right, whoever you are, y'all about to get it. But let's get it, man. I appreciate y'all. Other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Flag was Flying. We are out here. Peace!
Everywhere, this is for you.
Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird game.